With profound humble gratitude and love to all venerated enlightened masters, we bow to the Almighty in soulful gratefulness for gifting us with their holy blessed presence. May all beings be awakened by their divine grace.
Part 2 of 4.
Etc.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nature punishes any neglect of prudence. If you think the senses final, obey their law. If you believe in the soul, do not clutch at sensual sweetness before it is ripe on the slow tree of cause and effect. Please continue watching for the insightful writings of American philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson, vegetarian.
I find killing and eating animals a criminal action. Chrissy Hind, vegetarian.
Hello, wise viewers. I'm Angini. The vibrant people of the Choctaw Nation pray that heaven brings you happiness, harmony, and health in your everyday lives. Welcome to our program, excerpt from the essay Prudence by Ralph Waldo Emerson, vegetarian. Part 2 of 2 on words of wisdom. Ralph Waldo Emerson was a renowned 19th century American essayist, philosopher, lecturer, poet, and a leader of the Transcendental Philosophical Movement. His literature influenced many celebrated writers, including Henry David Thoreau and Walt Whitman. Emerson is most famous for his essays, through which he expresses ideas of freedom, spirituality, individuality, the great ability of humans to have profound realizations, and the relationship between the soul and the surrounding world. Ralph Waldo Emerson traveled widely, giving lectures, and became well known for his publications, essays, and nature. Today, we will continue to read a selection from Ralph Waldo Emerson's essays. First series, Essay 7, entitled Prudence, in which the philosopher talks about prudence as the good quality of rationality. Prudence. We eat of the bread which grows in the field. We live by the air which blows around us, and we are poisoned by the air that is too cold or too hot, too dry or too wet. Time, which shows so vacant, indivisible, and divine in its coming, is slit and peddled into trifles and tatters. A door is to be painted, a lock to be repaired. I want wood or oil or meal or salt. The house smokes, or I have a headache, and the stinging recollection of an injurious or very awkward word. These eat up the hours. Do what we can, summer will have its flies. If we walk in the woods, we must feed mosquitoes. Then climate is a great impediment to idle persons. We often resolve to give up the care of the weather, but still, we regard the clouds and the rain. We are instructed by these petty experiences which usurp the hours and years. The hard soil and 4 months of snow make the inhabitant of the northern temperate zone wise and able. The northerner is perforce a householder. He must brew, bake, salt, and preserve his food. He must pile wood and coal. But as it happens, that not one stroke can labor lay to without some new acquaintance with nature. And as nature is inexhaustibly significant, the inhabitants of these climates have always excelled. Such is the value of these matters that a man who knows other things can never know too much of these. Let him have accurate perceptions. Let him, if he has hands, handle. If eyes, measure and discriminate. Let him accept and hive every fact of chemistry, natural history, and economics. The more he has, the less he is willing to spare one. Time is always bringing the occasions that disclose their value. Some wisdom comes out of every natural and innocent action. The domestic man who loves no music so well as his kitchen clock and the airs which the logs sing to him as they burn on the hearth has solaces which others never dream of. The good husband finds method as efficient in the packing of firewood in a shed or in the harvesting of fruits in the cellar as the files of the Department of State. In the rainy day, he builds a workbench or gets his toolbox set in the corner of the barn chamber and stored with nails, gimlet, pincers, screwdriver, and chisel. Herein he tastes an old joy of youth and childhood, the cat-like love of garrets, presses, and corn chambers, and of the conveniences of long housekeeping. His garden tells him many pleasant anecdotes. One might find argument for optimism in the abundant flow of this saccharine element of pleasure in every suburb and extremity of the good world. Let a man keep the law, any law, and his way will be strewn with satisfactions. There is more difference in the quality of our pleasures than in the amount. On the other hand, nature punishes any neglect of prudence. If you think the senses final, obey their law. If you believe in the soul, do not clutch at sensual sweetness before it is ripe on the slow tree of cause and effect. It is vinegar to the eyes to deal with men of loose and imperfect perception. Our words and actions, to be fair, must be timely. A gay and pleasant sound is the wedding of the scythe in the mornings of June. Yet what is more lonesome and sad than the sound of a whetstone or mower's rifle when it is too late in the season to make hay? Scatterbrained and afternoon men spoil much more than their own affairs in spoiling the temper of those who deal with them. But what man shall dare task another with imprudence? Who is prudent? The men we call greatest or least in this kingdom. There is a certain fatal dislocation in our relation to nature, distorting all our modes of living and making every law our enemy, which seems at last to have aroused all the wit and virtue in the world to ponder the question of reform. We must call the highest prudence to counsel, and ask why health and beauty and genius should now be the exception, rather than the rule of human nature. We do not know the properties of plants and animals and the laws of nature, through our sympathy with the same. But this remains the dream of poets. Poetry and prudence should be coincident. Poets should be lawgivers, that is, the boldest lyric inspiration should not chide and insult, but should announce and lead the civil code and the day's work. But now the two things seem irreconcilably parted. We have violated law upon law until we stand amidst ruins, and when by chance we spy a coincidence between reason and the phenomena, we are surprised. Beauty should be the dowry of every man and woman, as invariably as sensation, but it is rare. Health or sound organization should be universal. Genius should be the child of genius, and every child should be inspired. But now it is not to be predicted of any child, and nowhere is it pure. We call partial half-lights, by courtesy, genius. Talent which converts itself to money, talent which glitters today that it may dine and sleep well tomorrow. and society is officered by men of parts, as they are properly called, and not by divine men. These use their gifts to refine luxury, not to abolish it. Genius is always ascetic and piety and love. Appetite shows to the finer souls as a disease, and they find beauty in rights and bounds that resist it.
Yeah, you can eat meat, and if you get cancer from it, hell can operate on your cancer without anesthesia.
Loving viewers, we thank you for your company today. Coming up next is The Magical Book, Part 1 of 4. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television for more uplifting programming. May the immense love of heaven warm your hearts daily.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/WOW.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule et suprememastertv.com/WOW.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule y suprememastertv.com/WOW.
番組は多言語放送です。放送予定はsuprememastertv.com/schedule そしてsuprememastertv.com/WOW